Rosann, we've known each other for 3 decades.
Yes, a long time.
And you have been a professional counselor.
As you have been a professional counselor, how many people have we known in Hong Kong?
Yes, quite a lot.
So many different people.
And so many changes.
And that's why we want to think about women now and women then, and how women have changed over these years.
That must be very interesting.
Yes.
And it covered different generations.
Always.
Well, if they're interested in what we are talking about, how are they going to find us?
You're going to find us Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, PsychoAlchemy. We are Women Now and Then.
See you there.
Hello, everyone. You heard last week that we're going to be talking about men this week. For the first 6 sessions, we talked about women, our identity, our bodies, our health, our money, and moms. We did a lot. We spent a lot of time on moms. They're so important. Last week we talked about dads, about fathers and fathering. Now we're on to men, that marvelous topic. It's the mystery in women's lives. How do we understand or not understand men? There's the men we've liked, the men we've loved, the men we've lived with, the men we married, the men we divorced. And from each man, we learn a little bit more about men in general. And some of our conclusions are, it's wonderful as adult women. It's wonderful to have a man you love. And there are some of us who like having more than one man at a time. And then when you want to talk about how men are, don't talk to men. Talk to your girlfriends. Talk to your girlfriends. Dorothy, the men we have loved, depends on what stage of life you're in.
Yes.
What's going on with you? What is this attraction? Because sometimes when people hear the word relationship, they narrow it to one man and that one relationship. When actually, we're talking about how we feel, how the individual woman feels about her own stage in life and the setting in which she finds herself. That goes very far to explaining why she's interested in some men more than others, or why one particular man. Dorothy, want to talk about our attraction and attachment to one man or men in general? Where would you like to start? Happy memory.
Well, happy, not much. Well, well, I think it's a pretty big learning experience.
Oh, yes.
Having a boyfriend or having a husband, or maybe having different kind of male friends. Men is so different from women in the sense that it create a lot of curiosity in me.
Yes.
As you know, I went to a all girls school.
Yes.
So you can imagine, we are like wild animals being trapped for such a long time. So the moment I managed to get out of my high school and go to United States for my university education, immediately the world opened up to me. Right. So I think to me, man is someone that I always find it fascinating. Especially if they are equally interested in you, they will give you so much attention.
Yes, the attention is grand.
Right. And I think that's why no matter how painful the relationship might turn out to be, well, I always manage to say, it's going to be okay. Next time, next round, I'm going to bump into someone better. And I think my experience with men is that they are not that good in maintaining a relationship. Sometimes some of them cannot even continue a conversation. So maybe that's why it's so attractive, as if I need to do a lot of things. But that will create another problem, is because I have invested so much of my energy on that person, maybe I'm being fooled. I think I really like him a lot. It's just because I've put so much energy into discovering who he is. By doing that, I raise a lot of questions and let him talk about himself. So as we all know, we all love to talk about ourselves.
Absolutely.
So when I have put so much attention to that guy and let him talk so much about himself, he felt so good about himself. He felt that it's because of me. It's only because he loved talking about himself. And at that time, and most of the time, as a counselor and also as a woman, I think we are more attentive. So especially if I find him interesting, I will put in a lot of focus. So in by doing that, I actually might create maybe a not too accurate experience in him, thinking that, oh, this woman must think that I'm very perfect, and that's why he asked me so many questions. So I'm a little bit worried thinking about it. Is it really I'm in love with this guy, so I want to spend so much time with him, or I'm just in love with this loving process, this discovery, this flirting and all that. So I don't know. Men, to me, even now I'm approaching 60, I still have no idea. I don't know how to work with them in a way that he felt comfortable, and I feel comfortable at the same time. I sometimes thought that when I was younger, I have too many tricks or maybe little things that try to pull him, get him into my side in order to attract him. But then I realized all this push-pull game is not a healthy relationship kind of thing. So after a while, I will stop doing all this, and then the man will say, how come you change? But actually, I think maybe at the beginning, I worked too hard. And then maybe during the halfway, I sort of relax a little bit. And sometimes the man will say, oh, so you're not interested anymore. So maybe that's something I need to learn. I still need to learn.
But we talk about our relationships at the time in our life because we have different needs
at different times,
at different stages.
True
20-year-olds versus 30-year-olds versus 50-year-olds versus, and on we go.
Well, 20 something, I think the whole intention is to attract a man.
Attraction.
To get him.
The whole culture is about women dressing, women acting, women singing. It's about attraction. And it's more about getting high on sex. That wonderful sexual experience that happens early 20s, right into the 30s, into the 40s maybe. But my favorite kind of client, I've told you about them before, the ones who are 29 to 32. Those wonderful, I call them young women, but they feel they're getting old. Where, let's call her Dolores. And the story goes on. She's been living with a guy, see, not commitment to marriage, been living with a guy. He gets a job somewhere else. London, KL, inside China. And he says, do you want to come? And Dolores comes to see me, and she says, he didn't ask me to marry him. I'm 30 years old. Doesn't he know that I want to have children? So I go, okay, Dolores, there's the man, there's you. You want to have children. What have you said to him? Well, how can I say anything to him? He's gotten this new job offer. He wants to go. And he said, would you like to come? So I said, and what did you want? I want him to say, will you marry me? So I say, Dolores, why don't you go and talk to him? Why don't you just sort of find a place and a time when there's no work and there's no video around, put the phones away, and let's look at George and say, George, look, what do you want? And Dolores says to me, you do that? So they did that. They did that. Dolores comes back 10 days later and she says, Rosann, he said he wants to go to Shanghai. He's never worked there before. If I want, I can come along. So I said George, I've been living with you for 4 years. What about us? And he goes, what about us, Dolores? What about us? So Dolores says, how can men think so differently? The question goes on.
Yeah.
The question goes on. How can men think
So
differently?
Yeah.
But let's just, so you have a little bit of comparison.
Yes.
Let's talk about Maggie.
Okay.
Maggie is 53, so she's past menopause. So we meet, and we're at some organization, you know, that she's originally from Australia, but now she's working in Hong Kong, and she's also been to New York, and she's a very successful woman who has never been married.
Okay.
So 3 or 4 of us in a conversation say, well, do you miss being married? Maggie says, no, not at all. Then she says, do you mean, do I miss sex? So, well, yeah. And she goes, no, don't you have somebody that you can have sex with? And I go, no, I don't have that kind of a relation. She said, well, it's pretty easy. You know, this is the modern, middle-class, white woman who's traveled around the world says, put it to a guy. You don't want a relationship. That means love and commitment. You just want sex. And he might be happily relieved to know, here's a 53-year-old woman who looks great, who is articulate, who has a fun life. I'd like to see her. And I go, well, how do you figure that out? She says, well, when I'm in town, I call him and I say I'm in town. Dinner usually means dinner and sex. But if he's only got Saturday afternoon, then it's just sex. So I say, do you articulate? Do you say aloud? And she says to me, Rosann, why not? If women want sex, they can ask for sex. Now you compare that to Dolores, who she's 20 some years younger.
Right.
She wants so much for that. I'm tempted to say the fairy tale picture of the house with the kids, and she's had the baby and he's being attentive. That's not the way women are thinking these days. But how do they even get to those questions with men? So I ask them, and then they tell me what's been happening with men. But men will say, okay, 32-year-old, beautiful, great guy, beautifully trained engineer, working in agricultural mechanization, but computerized agricultural work. And he's from Malaysia. He's in Hong Kong, going to be working in China. And he says to me, I'd really like to find one girl. I want to get married. I'm 32. I want a woman who will be there for me.
Willing to settle down.
I want a woman who I would like her to be the person in my life. And I go, so Joe, well, have you said this? And he goes, how do you know when you meet a working woman? And all the women I meet these days are working. They're all talking about careers. Rosann, how do I know when I will find the woman for me? I said, Joe, you got to be a little bit articulate with women. Say it up front. He says, oh yeah. And they're looking at me thinking, what's wrong with this guy? So I think some of our men are confused. I give these examples because the vibrations that women give off confuse men. But what do women want? Dolores wants to get married. Maggie does not want to get married, or at least she says so right now, but she openly wants sex. And here's this really sweet guy who's trying to find a girl to marry, not a girl to have sex with. In our day and age, there are 2 separate activities. Having sex with someone and loving, which we said is a process.
Yes.
That is a process. So I feel a bit sorry for guys these days.
very confusing. Huh?
Yeah, well, you have 2 young nephews.
Yeah.
They must be thinking about getting
Oh,
married.
yeah.
Yeah.
The elder one is going to get married by the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the commitment is there. But I can see, because I've been counseling a lot of teenagers, now
Oh,
they
yeah.
become 20-something. Some of them are already reached the marriage age. Actually, I think a lot of men these days, my experience in Hong Kong, there are so many options. As you said,
Yes.
because the women are not that fixed on, I must get married before 30, and there are some women are still looking around, and they are sure that they can find someone, so they can still wait. So for some men, there are always some men that are more domestic, right? Willing to settle down, want to have a family in order the next process after the marriage, maybe he will work hard on his career, right? For some of the men, they feel very confusing. And sometimes when they come to see me, actually I was surprised. It's the men who want to settle down, and the girlfriend is the one who want to just
Wow,
okay,
yeah.
we are still young. Why can't we still look around, right? And I recently had a very interesting case. It's a mixed marriage. An Asian man would marry a Australian woman, and she told me a story, and I think it's fascinating. When the Asian man first met up with this woman, he already felt that she's so outgoing, so unlike the typical Asian girl, right? So he start, focusing all his energy on her. So he will ask her out, and she said, is it because of the language barrier? When the man first asked him out, he said, are you willing to go out with me? And the Australian girl said, sure, why not? But
Yes.
the Asian man was thinking of going out means, are you going to go out with me, just me?
Oh.
And that was like the first 10 days.
Really?
He already think that is a serious relationship. But where's the girl, well, oh, I can go out with you. So the thing is, after maybe 6 months or so, they are studying both. They were both studying in Australia, so it's so easy for the girl. Hey, why don't you come to my family, my home, right, for dinner or whatever? Because they are more open-minded. And the girl told me her parents met with all the guys.
Yes.
She dated ever since
yes.
she was 12, right?
Yes.
So now she's a college,
Thank you.
university student. Oh, it's no problem. But then one day, the Asian guy was so polite and said, I'm going back to my hometown next month. Would you like to go with me? And to her, is sure, why not? Never been to this Asian country.
Yes.
I should definitely
It's
go
a
with you.
Travel trip.
Yes,
Yes.
a travel trip.
Yeah, just go.
But
Just go.
without knowing, it's such a serious thing for the man.
Oh,
And the
yes.
man is actually bringing his future wife.
Right, that would be how he would feel.
Right.
I'm bringing her, and you all take a look.
Right. So it's so
Oh.
funny when you said that your cases are people seem to be more open-minded, more willing to try different relationship. I was so surprised, and this guy's only 28. They got
Oh
married
my.
at 24.
Oh my
After
goodness.
going back to the country, and they feel pretty good. And then the man had a very good job offer, like the story you told.
Oh, the one to Shanghai.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
wanted
right.
To go
He
there.
had a very good job offer, and the man just said, "Want to join me to the new country?" And the girl said, "Why not?" And he said, "I mean, we have to get married, because otherwise, if you go there, you need a visa. You might not be." That might not be easy,
Exactly,
but I
exactly.
have a work permit. I can apply. And the girl was shocked.
Oh.
And because, and you so open-minded. And then after struggling maybe for 24 hours, and she decided, why not? And they got married.
Wow.
But you can imagine, I'm telling you this story because they are coming to see me as a counselor. Now,
Oh.
after 4 years, the girl said, oh my God, why am I involved in such a difficult situation, right? Because to her, it's like, well, something new. I want to
That's
try,
right.
right? But the
That's right.
man was like so committed to the marriage. So
Yes.
when you told me that your story just now, I was thinking my story, and I have to agree. Men today is so difficult to decide what to do.
Oh.
If you go for a traditional version and you met up with this open-minded Western education woman, and you were like, huh? And if vice versa, if the men are more open-minded and not proposing,
Yes.
and the woman will complain, "Wow, you are not committing to a
That's right.
relationship."
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all of this
Yes,
happening now
yes.
with men. So many differences. We'll come back and do a few case studies.
Yes.
Okay.
Dorothy 啊，啲人咧成日話我哋九型人格嘅4號仔咧，就硬係咧好多愁善感，有份外多情嘅喎。你點睇呢一樣嘢？
咁就見仁見智嘅。不過比起其餘嗰8個 number 咧，我哋又真係好似好多時都被情所困咁樣，真係會令人會覺得我哋好多情嘅。
咁但係情又係乜嘢嘅一回事咧？
咁其實情好闊㗎，有對父母嘅情啦，對兄弟姊妹嘅情啦，友情啊咁。不過我諗最困擾我哋嘅就係啲痴情咯。同埋因為情而帶嚟嘅好多嘅傷痛。
咁啊，如果大家咧想知道我哋有幾咁多情咧，就留意我哋個節目啦。逢星期4晚夜晚10點正，練心堂濃本多情。
Dorothy, we're talking about men and women, how we relate, how we women relate to men,
Yes.
how we relate to each other. One of the customs I see in Hong Kong, which interests me because I never had such an experience in the United States. I see groups of maybe 2 boys and 4 girls, or 3 boys and 5 girls, and or men and women. They're all kind of friends.
Yeah.
We're going out with my friends.
Yes.
Now, none of them are married to each other.
Okay.
But I see it with different age groups. Certainly with the young people, secondary school students, there always seem to be 2 boys for every group of girls.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, male protection or something. They're taking care of their sisters.
Yeah.
But then I see colleagues after work, and 3 will come from one office, 2 from another, but it's a mixed group again. And often an odd number. Don't know if that's planned or not planned. 5 or 7 people in a group, mixed men and women, colleagues at work or people they knew from university or from their hometown. So there's some connection with some of them. And it's a very easy cluster. Now, my experience in the United States, it's more of the guys are really interested in getting into bed with the woman.
One to one.
One to one. Let's figure out where
Focus.
this is going. Not so much the group friendship. Is that when you were in secondary school? Is how does this work?
Okay,
Is this an
interesting.
Asian thing or?
Well,
or
I
what?
think this is a different stage.
Different stage.
When the relationship is not obvious, right? You have one group of people, classmate or colleagues, they hang out together. There's no target yet, we call it. So we would prefer to go out as a group. Maybe among this group of people, maybe this girl has some interest at the guy, but they don't feel that is coming yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think Asian are more traditional. They will not think of going out once and we can immediately jump into the bed, right? So we like to develop the relationship. So at the beginning, if it's classmates or it's college friends, if I know that Rosann, you are interested at Philip, we'll call a group together, maybe barbecue or karaoke or go to a very nice dinner.
Very nice
Yeah,
dinner.
yes.
6 or 7 people
Right.
together, and I look at them
have
and
a
I-
glass of wine
Yeah.
and chit chat, and then after a little while, maybe 4 or 5 times this kind of gathering.
Yes.
Well, you will have the contact of Philip,
Philip.
and Philip might ask you out, and then gradually you two maybe have your secret date, whereas you might still hang out with us, and that's important. And some of the people will make it secret because they don't know whether it's going to work. They don't want to affect the whole group.
Wow. Is
Right.
that a group awareness?
Right.
Oh
So
my goodness.
sometimes if it's more obvious, maybe for the first 2 after the first 2 dinner, Philip will say, "Oh, Rosann, where you live? Oh, Jim Sa Shui. Okay, I'm going that way. So let's walk together." So that's already a sign, right? But if if the guys or the girls are not interested, once the function is over, it's like shoom, shoom, or
Everybody
the
goes
girls
to-
go with the girls.
Right.
So that is a good indicator. Oh, you are very
Very-
observant.
Oh,
Right,
it happens so many times. It
but
happens
but
so
for
many
Asian,
times.
maybe more for Chinese, once they're interested at one person, and they got the impression the other one resonates with him or her, I think they will start going out one
Yeah.
by one. I don't see we so easily jump into this one night stand and all that. Especially if we are serious in a relationship, we don't want to create a feeling that we are such a loose, you can easily have a relationship with us. I think it's a little bit changed these days. Women, if
Yes,
they're
yes.
educated in the States or overseas, even Hong Kong women, I think it would be a little bit easier for them to have a close relationship with a man. But as you know, in Hong Kong, there are not too many places available for you to have a good, nice sex, right? If you go to some sort of like a motel,
Yes.
first of all, it's kind of far away, a little bit far away.
Yes.
And those in the city are not really nice. It's mainly for quick sex.
Yes.
And for that kind of place, a lot of people don't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I heard from my client, older client said, what is so uncomfortable for parents these days, the guys will just bring their girlfriend home and have sex in the room. Right? They don't
Yes.
even go to motel. They don't even consider go to those cheap places. They'll just go back to their room. And to a lot of Chinese parents are quite uncomfortable with that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we think that is improper. And a lot of time, the parents will ask, how come the girls these days are like that? Chinese training or girls tend to be more, how do I say, girl, like a lady. You won't go to your boyfriend's home and have sex, right? That will create a very negative impression on your future in-laws, right? But now things has changed. Definitely has changed.
And we have to be open to so many changes. A Hong Kong Chinese family working in a school, a student was not doing so well with mathematics, science, but she needed these credits to graduate.
Yes.
A boy who was a senior at the time, so he's 12th grade, offered to help her with homework. That's what they told me in the beginning. And then the story evolved that the girl was the only child of a woman who was working, and she lived in the New Territories. So wouldn't it be easier for the girl to stay at the boy's house?
Yeah.
Now, these modern Chinese families, the mother of the daughter called the mother of the son, and the mother of the son said, yes, it's fine, she can share his room. So both mothers knew
What's going on?
when these children were in secondary school. And he was very good about committing to helping her with her math courses in her science laboratory. And having sex was just one more additional thing. It was not the only thing, and it was considered part of the growing up.
Okay.
So I'm dealing with a mother who is separated from a man, so there's no father figure in the home.
Okay.
So I think about this and I think, well, how many different ways can things go? And again, this is our time generally in history, but also we're dealing always with the specific setting. The specific setting. Let me go another way. Professional women, successful women, women over 50, who for the time being are not attached, widowed, divorced, or have never been married. It seems to me that one of the ongoing assumptions is the guy will ask the woman out to dinner. I'll make it personal. The guy will ask me out to dinner once or twice. By the third time, it becomes very clear that the conversation's lovely. I can be quite charming. He's very gallant. We're having a wonderful time together. By the third time together, I know, do we want sex? Or does this guy want to get married?
Okay, wow, we're fast.
But I find that with mature, successful men, they don't want to waste time with where is this relationship going. So that
Mm-hmm.
is another set of options. Remember, we had Dolores and Maggie.
Yeah.
We have the ways men are acting.
Mm.
Now, the young boy,
Mm-hmm.
let's take this 17,
Right,
18-year-old boy. He grew up with video games.
Mm. Mm.
He's good. His mind's wonderful with the math and science stuff.
Mhm.
He's happy to help this girl, and he knows he's getting sex every night because he's young.
Yes.
Now, the parents, I've talked to the parents
Mhm.
on this, and the mother says, I would rather know where she is.
Mm. Then have no
And
idea
more
where.
than one mother
Mm.
of a teenage girl has
Mm.
said to me,
Mm.
I would rather know where she's sleeping and who she's sleeping with, which really means who she's having sex with.
Mm-hmm.
So have you talked to your daughter about birth control? Have you talked? Yes, she's on the pill. Don't worry about it, Rosann.
Yes.
So we have these kinds of assumptions about some of our youth.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got our 29 to 32-year-olds
Mm.
who, yes, they may have had more than one boyfriend.
Mhm.
Yes, they may have slept with more than 5 men.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point in their life, they switch back
To the.
to traditional value.
Yes. Yes.
So how do we live with this
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
consistency?
Mm.
What are we looking for?
Mm.
And the world has plenty of room for career women.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you can imagine, right? It's like you have been out in the sea, wild sea, for quite some time.
Yes.
Maybe for women, after struggling for so many years, and you're running out of lifesaver, you want to get onto a boat and settle down and paddle yourself back to the safe harbor. But men may not be ready for that. And as long as he's still having fun, you know.
Dorothy, Dorothy, Dorothy.
Yes.
Men, and guys, this may come as a surprise to you, but let me tell you the lingo of women.
Mm.
When the man is young, he wants a mistress.
Yes.
He wants somebody sexy.
Yes.
He wants to make love
Yes.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right? When he's middle-aged, he wants one woman. He can have a woman, a family, a wife.
Mm.
And when he's older, he wants a nurse. Because men start aging, they start falling apart, they want someone to take care of them. So I am of great concern to women in their 50s looking at a guy who's in his 60s saying, sweetheart, you know, this guy might not be that vital for that long because women live longer than men. They're
Yeah.
stronger than men. You think he's going to take care of you? Sweetheart, it's going to be the other way around. You're going to end up taking care
Yeah.
of him. So we have dating counseling for women 50 plus.
Uh-huh.
The boat might not be the boat. You're swimming along looking for the safety of the boat. He's swimming along looking for the safety. I want some strong woman who's pretty healthy
Yeah.
because I don't want to be alone when I start aching. Oh, my gallbladder. Oh, my hernia. What else are they complaining about? And they want a woman to take care of them.
Well, maybe that's the perfect excuse for men to just get rid of their old wife and go to find a mistress. Obviously, he will find a mistress younger than his wife, but
Yes.
not that much younger. Men are
Yes.
not that stupid. Yeah,
Yes.
really smart man will, if he is in his 60s, he will not look for a woman in his 20s. Actually, he will look for a woman in the 40s.
Yes.
Right, so the woman is still very strong, can take care of him, and to him the gap is not too big.
Yes.
But the thing is, he definitely is going to dump his wife and go for this 40-year-old woman.
But why? You know, again, go the case studies. Generally, why? To make him feel more like a man?
More like a man. And I think you just imagine if he's in the 60s, his wife is almost always maybe also in the 60s. So she has been working so hard for the family for so long. She no longer laugh at every joke he said. And sometimes, as I said, right, after a certain time, the respect is getting less and less.
Ah.
Right, so he felt sense of like insignificant at the family, so he start to look around, and at the same time this 40-year-old will be the target, because if she is 40-year-old, either she was married and divorced,
Of course.
or maybe she never get married, so it's like the last chance for her to have a family. And if she look up at this man, well, he already make it. He is no longer he won't expect me to give birth to a child.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's in his 60s, he might already make some money. So I'm not going to worry about money. So if I have a job, I'm in my 40s, and this man is already at his retirement age, so we can go traveling, and he had all the intelligence or wisdom. He can teach me a lot of things. That's how the 40 and the 60 can always
40
have
and
a,
yes, 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 yes.
But
yes.
just imagine, I don't think a 55, 60 years old woman would like to marry a 60 years old man.
Oh,
right?
no, not at all.
No, not at
No,
all. Right.
not at all. That
Unless
was-
it's for
sorry, 60-year-olds. Sorry to all the 60-year-old men. We got to give them some help here. We got to give these guys some help.
Right, because it's another, as you said, we don't want to continue to support the man all our life, right? If he is 60, approaching 70, you can imagine it's going to be a lot of work, unless the man was very healthy,
Okay.
right?
And that's, you listen, the 60-year-old men, the men getting to be 60, you want a woman to take care of you. Our chief advice is, please start taking care of yourself.
Yes.
No one can fix your body. So if you need to shed some pounds, get working on it. Put some money into seeing a
Coach, right.
life coach, gym, start swimming, something so that body is moving again. So you're not Mr. Belly. Very few women like the big belly man unless they have a lot of money, which spells security to the woman.
Oh, I'm one of my father's best friend.
Yes.
And I think he was like 10 years younger than my father.
Yes.
So actually he's in his 80s. Actually,
Yes.
2 years back he managed to remarry. His wife passed away, and
Yes.
all his life he had been taking very good care of his wife. But then 2 years after his wife passed away, and he was 76, 77, he met up with this woman who is about 25, 30 years younger than he is. And you know what? They got married, and they came to Hong Kong and visit our family. Actually, I felt there's so much blessing from our family, mainly because this uncle, all his life he has been a perfect caretaker. He
Yes.
take care of his wife very well, his family very well, and I think he deserves someone to take care of him. So when he find this younger woman, supposed to be younger but already in her 50s, she's like a perfect match, right?
Yes.
Because as Rosann said just now, even though he is in his 70s, he's very healthy.
He
wo-
is taking care of
yeah,
himself.
he takes very good care of himself. He invite my mom to go to New York to visit him. He said, Jenny, why don't you go to visit me in New York City? I can take you around the city. I'm still driving my Mercedes Benz. So
Wow.
obviously he had good health, he had good money,
Yes.
and he's still very positive.
Yes.
He enjoyed life, and
Yes.
now this woman had a very good time. And all the time they just travel around the world.
Yes.
So occasionally he'd come by Hong Kong, he'll come to visit me and my mom. So I would say, well, thing is, if you are a man and you really want to have a relationship, you don't see that relationship as a burden to the other woman.
Yes.
You are not really trying to find a nurse. Because if you have that mentality, I think you frighten a lot of women away.
Yeah.
You try to be a healthy man so that women will share their life with you. You are looking for a partner, a soulmate, but not a nurse or someone to support you. I think we are tired of doing that all our life. We want someone that we can just support each other and share
Yes.
our experience with you, right? Yeah, dance with us, right?
Dance with us.
Yeah.
Come on, you 50 and 60-year-old men who are looking for women. In addition to being physically fit, you all are workaholics.
Yes.
You want your job, and you think that we are going to be desperately interested in your job. We've got our own jobs. We've got our own lives.
Yeah.
So we don't have to pay attention to your career only. So I'm asking you, Mr. 50-something, Mr. 60-something, what do you love? What do you like to do? What are
Yes.
your hobbies?
Yes.
What are your interests
Yes.
outside of your job?
Yes. Be an interesting person. Yeah.
Yes, something you love.
Right.
Do you like to go to the opera?
Yes.
Oh, that's something. Do you have a stamp collection? Do you go fishing on weekends?
Yes.
What's with you? Can I begin to enjoy some activities with you? Because your work is your work. And then what is there? Just sex? Not enough. Just sex is not enough. Not enough. So come on, Mr. 50s and Mr. 60s, get a life if you want a wife.
That's good.
Dorothy.
Yes, let's end it here.
Dorothy 有啲人咧成日話我哋九型人格嘅4號仔咧，就硬係咧好多愁善咁，又分外多情嘅喎。你點睇呢一樣嘢？
咁就見仁見智嘅。不過比起其餘嗰8個 number 咧，我哋又真係好似好多時都被情所困咁樣，真係會令人會覺得我哋好多情嘅。
咁但係情又係乜嘢嘅一回事咧？
咁其實情好闊㗎，有對父母嘅情啦，對兄弟姊妹嘅情啦，友情啦咁。不過我諗最困擾我哋嘅就係啲痴情咯。同埋因為情而帶嚟嘅好多嘅傷痛。
咁啊，如果大家咧想知道我哋有幾咁多情咧，就留意我哋個節目啦。逢星期4晚夜晚10點正，練心堂濃滿多情。
Well, just now we've gone crazy, right? We're so excited about the men 50 or plus and want a relationship. It's so true when you said that, and I think it's fair. If something happened to the marriage, the men now become single and want to have a relationship. But I think it's so important they need to remember work isn't everything. They need to make themselves more interesting and more healthy.
Yes.
You know, you are not trying to find another mother, right, to pamper you, to take care of you. And I think a lot of frustration now, and it's less then, was a lot of time when I meet up with men, and in counseling or in other situation, I think a lot of men are like boy these days, right? And even though they're 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, sometimes they just behave like a boy. My excuse for them is because Chinese women or maybe even Asian women, mother has been quite dominating.
Yeah.
And the close relationship between mother and son actually is a double sword, double blade thing. The boy enjoys so much of the mother's attention, even though they are much older now, or even they got married, the mother's influence on the son still there. And sometimes I hear something like, whenever I'm unhappy, I'll just go back home and have lunch or dinner with my mom, so my mom will pamper me. And another story was even worse than this one, is my mother will come to my house twice a week to cook for my house, because my wife can never cook like my mom, and every time I eat my mother's dishes, I feel so comforting. I just ask him, why don't you ask your mom to teach your wife, some of her favorite dish?
Yes.
And said, my mom said, no, I'm not going to teach your wife. If you want to eat my food, I'm going to come over to cook.
Wow.
So you can imagine the boy hasn't really grown up to become a man. And I think if the men always hang around with the family so close, the family of origin, especially with such close relationship with with the mother, actually it hurt the relationship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, always complain, my mother won't say something like that to me. My mother will always pick up the laundry, pick up the dirty socks for me. My mother will do this, my mother will do that. And I think when guys start talking things like that, I worry. Yeah,
they've remained the son. They've remained the boy.
Right, remain the boy, and they never really have their own independence. It's so hard, maybe for American, for Westerners.
Yes.
The gap, is so easy to differentiate.
Yeah.
You get married, you become a man, you're independent, but also mainly because of Hong Kong living situation. Even though you want to get married, you cannot afford to have your own apartment. You might live under your parents' roof, right?
Very true. For so many Asians.
Yeah.
And in a place like Hong Kong, but also Beijing, the housing is also very scarce.
Yeah.
So couples end up living with their in-laws for 5-7 years.
Yes.
Yes.
So as long as you are under your parents' roof, it's so hard for the boy to mature, become a
Yes.
man. And some of them, the men, the husband also told me, why should I mature to become a man? If I stay at home, my mom will take good care of me. I'm really enjoying all the special attention. My mother know exactly what kind of soup I like, when I want it, what kind of fruit, what kind of vegetables I like. And I don't need to do it. If I live with my wife, my wife will occasionally, hey, why ain't you helping me? If you are not helping me with the cooking, why don't you do the dishes? So, but if I'm at home, I just need to sit on a sofa and enjoy myself. Food will fit into my mouth. So you can see that's a big
But Dorothy,
problem.
it's not only Asian
Just
families.
saying, yeah.
In the United States now, we have more grown-up children returning to the parents' home at age 26, 27.
Oh my
They
goodness.
go through university, they
Uh-huh.
thrive with the first job, the second job, not making so much money.
Uh-huh.
The parents still have a house big enough with a room upstairs,
Yes.
a room downstairs.
Yes.
And I talked to the 27-year-old, why are you still living in your mother's house? Because my mother's house, there's always food in the fridge. When I live alone, I had to think, what am I cooking? But really, I was spending a lot of money eating out.
Yes.
My mother always has good tomato sauce. I can make pasta easily. My mother always has a nice soup there. And I said, so you're living at your mother's house so you can eat whatever you want? Yeah. What's wrong with that? Auntie Rosann, what's wrong
What's
with that?
wrong with that? Yeah, yeah.
And what about a girlfriend? Because that 27-year-old has already slept with half a dozen women, has had sex with half a dozen
Right,
women.
right.
He doesn't feel he wants to
Yeah.
extend himself to be responsible for paying rent. What does this girl want? Girls are such a pain. And I go, what do you mean girls are such a pain? Please tell me. They always want to talk. They always want you to listen to their problems. I don't want to listen to the problem. I can watch a football game
Yeah.
and listen at the same time. But she turned off the television. She said, you have to listen to me.
100% attention. Yeah.
20-somethings are having a
Yeah.
hard time.
Yeah.
It's not just Asia.
Mm.
North America,
Mm.
economic issue. They can't get a job that pays enough for them to strike out on their own.
Right.
And they can't save enough money. Economic issue.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Mm.
what do? You move back with the folks, and then the folks say,
Mm.
we got 2 kids living at home.
Mm.
One is my son and one is my nephew. 27 and
Yeah.
31.
Well,
What's going on here?
I was surprised because that issue, as Hong Kong people, we immediately understand that is the norm.
Yes.
Because we just can't afford it. But we imagine in the States it's a much bigger place. You can get different apartments or maybe share. But
Yeah.
somehow I think the kidults, we call this kidults, kid and adults together.
Kidults,
The
yes.
kidults will actually want to get the best from the family. Actually doing the laundry, cleaning the room and the free cooking, and to them they just get all the benefits.
And they turn over some money. This is in the U.S.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
turn over some money, but they don't have the agonies of why your mother, your aunt is not happy with her girlfriends, because there's enough. You're living upstairs, downstairs, or the back of the house, or even in the garage, or on the trailer outside. But there's a constant source of good food,
Yes.
and nobody's throwing you out.
Nobody is throwing you out. I think
You
that's
see,
another.
and the older couple,
Uh-huh.
they have the house. They can't sell it.
Mhm.
Where are they going to go?
Mm.
Because that older man is having a harder time getting a job. The older woman still can be working.
Uh-huh.
So they have the space, and then it looks terrible that they don't want to share their space.
With the child. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lot of boys
Mm.
as adults.
Mm. Mm.
Now, a girl comes along.
Mm.
Is she going to be dating such a guy?
Mm.
And when he's not working, let's take the 27 to 33-year-old male. When he's not working, he has cash. He has more cash because his food bill's not so high. He can eat out from time to time.
Yeah.
All Americans eat one meal a day out, but it's fast food, okay? Not so healthy. All right. Clothing, not so big an expense. Rent, not so big an expense. So he can afford to travel. He can go see another country, or a lot of men go to football, softball, soccer, baseball games together, and that means a meal out, drinks with your friends. So it's a substantial chunk of money.
Yes.
But if you're not paying rent, you can do that.
You can do that. Yes.
You can do
yes.
that. So the boy culture is sometimes encouraged by contemporary culture.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes it is the boy culture.
Right, you can imagine now with all these computer games and just spending the whole afternoon watching the internet, a lot of things going on.
And playing games.
Playing games, right?
People in different places in the world were playing games.
Yeah, so you can see, imagine if you are a woman, you want to have a relationship with a man, but your man is actually sitting in the couch doing this 5 hours, 6 hours every day. How can you stand, right? And then you will just go away. You just leave him alone. And that's like a pattern.
Yes.
Right.
Dorothy.
Until one day, the man suddenly maybe somehow, oh, well, maybe I should get married. But the thing is, he had already developed quite a self-centered pattern.
Yes.
Right. So I have so many counseling on couple, and after they got married, the first year maybe okay. Second year is getting worse. If they have a child, if the woman got pregnant, so she is busy for a year or so. But the sad news is, once the baby is born, and the woman rely on the man, actually when she look into the living room, the man is actually playing his game again, like when they were dating. But this time the woman cannot stand it anymore, because she, by giving birth to the child, physically and emotionally, she knows she's a mother. She has to take care of the baby. Whereas the man, like we said before, right, a lot of pressure. He wants to escape.
Yes.
One thing he can go is to run away, but if he cannot run away, he will run away by spending all his time in the computer games, in the whatever, so that he don't need to face his problem.
Yes.
I have a very lovely photo from one of my counseling client. And she was so angry. She sent me a photo. The father finally decided to hold on to the baby, one hand, but the other hand he's doing. And she was so angry. You know, why don't you spend some time looking at your daughter?
Yes.
Paying attention in such a short period of time, because the baby already fell asleep and put onto the father's hand and managed to like this in a couch. But he is like, his eyes is doing.
Oh my goodness.
It's a boy in heart.
Sometimes I'm asked, you know, if we're having trouble, either the guy or the gal, I get asked the question, well, how do you get to know this person better? One of my suggestions, which turns out to be funny, is you ask the couple, the would-be, to cook together.
Okay.
Oh, but we have an ama. We have a Filipino helper. Okay. Send the help away. One or each of you do some shopping. You're in a kitchen, and you can. Why should we do this? Because you will eat more healthfully, for one thing.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot about a person.
Yeah.
Cooking, and it's not forever. You're going to cook a meal, so maybe an hour together. Somebody's going to peel potatoes, or someone's going to make rice. So there's simpler tasks. Making a salad versus arranging the food on the plate, or marinating some meat.
Yes.
And then talking while you're eating. Did you buy organic eggs? And he says, I never heard of organic eggs. Aren't all eggs organic? So the conversation is not about her or about him or about his job, but no kidding. Dolores, organic eggs. Yeah, she said, where'd you get that celery? He said, I just bought it in the supermarket. No. Next time I want you to go to the supermarket that has the organic celery, and I want it chopped this way. And he goes, does it make a difference how you chop it? Makes a difference in how it cooks, whether it cooks evenly. And they're talking.
Yeah.
But they're still they're going to be able to eat together at the end of this meal. They're going to have to decide who's going to be at the sink, who's going to be at this. So it's dividing up roles in a marriage-like situation.
Yes.
Where the outcome is the food and then the cleanup.
Yes.
Even if you decide the cleanup will be tomorrow morning, we have something else we want to do right now. But we've done something together.
Yes.
Whereas if you go fishing or if you go swimming or if you go to a movie, there's not that much interaction.
Yes.
With food, there's a lot of interaction.
Right.
There's a lot of interaction.
Oh, interesting. I never think of it. It's
Oh,
like
it's one thing to do.
Yeah, and it's more real.
Oh, it's very
Right.
real.
When you have a relationship, it's not that romantic dating, eating out all the time, right? Sometimes you have to stay at home and have to prepare food. Yeah, I think that's a
It could be.
pretty good suggestion.
Could be. And the advanced stage on that is make a sandwich for him. He makes a sandwich for you. Now, his mother's made sandwiches all his life, and he makes his own sandwich. But if you say to George, I don't want you to touch this, but you can have white bread or brown bread. And he looks at you and he goes, I'll take the brown bread. That will be healthy. And then you're going to have a ham and cheese sandwich. You're going to have a tuna. What's it going to be? And he said, but wait. You got to put the mayonnaise. So she puts the mayonnaise in the center of the bread. And he says, you got to spread it out.
Oh, evenly.
All the way to the side. Now, you just think about it. He's giving specific instructions as to what would please him. Transfer that information to any other part of the body you want. But it can go from mayonnaise and bread to I like you to touch me this way or I like me to touch me that way.
Yes.
Practice needed.
Yeah, interesting.
Practice needed.
Yeah.
Oh, sandwiches are a good assignment for couples.
I see that in today's relationship,
Yes.
many young men I met up, actually they can do a little bit cooking.
Yes.
Yeah, and that will be good. So the role is not that stereotype when the men never go into the kitchen.
Yes.
But now the men can
Yeah,
do some
it's
cooking
easy,
and
yeah.
can share food. I think that's a good idea. That's something I would suggest to my client in order to find out more about each other.
Right.
Yeah, and our last section we are going to talk about movies and books.
Movies and books connected to
movies. I definitely think of a movie. It's like a classic by Hugh Grant. It's called About a Boy.
About a
That
boy.
movie was like many years back, but when I first watched it, I laughed out so loud because Hugh Grant was in that movie. He was like 38. He's a
Yeah.
30-year-old single man, but he never serious in his life because I think his father was a composer of some sort of Christmas carols.
Oh.
So they always got royalties every year because of that Christmas song. So all his life has been quite wasted because he don't need to work hard, right? And the whole story was about how he met up with this little fat chubby boy. I think his name is Marcus. He has been bullied in school and he had such low self-esteem. Somehow I forgot the whole incident, but they met up with each other. And so Hugh was thinking, oh, I'm going to teach you how to grow up like a mature man, and so that you can fight against those people that bully you in school. But it turned out it's about that boy. It's actually this boy teach Hugh Grant how to be a man. So that is so interesting. You know, at the beginning, that big chubby man, oh, I can't do it, so difficult and all that.
Yes.
But then gradually, Hugh Grant learned a lot how to be a responsible man.
So
And
this movie's called
About a Boy.
About a Boy.
Yeah, About
Oh,
a Boy. I think it's a
wow.
British movie.
Boys and
Yeah,
men. Boys
and one last movie. I didn't remember whether I talked about it few episode before. It's called Hope Spring.
Spring.
All right, and it's one of the Meryl Streep's movie, and that movie and co-starred by Tommy Lee Jones, and they are in the movie. They are couples married for 30 years, and the relationship is not working. Okay, it's not working, and Meryl Streep find a very famous counselor, and it's quite expensive, and she managed to get him to see the counselor together. But so typical men, right? So expensive for such a short period of time. I'm not going. But gradually, they discover a lot of things. And this movie is good because it talk about marriage and talk about men's perspective on relationship after married for 30 years, and how the woman try to bring the man into a counseling practice, a counseling section. I think that's good. And especially we are in the counseling field.
We're in the counseling field.
Next time I'll bring the
Next
DVD
time.
so you can watch it at home.
Oh, I'd like that.
Yeah, this
I'd
is a
like
good
that.
movie. So what about the book?
Oh, the book. Oh, this one, Man Disconnected. Men are connected to the electronic screen. Earphones, cell phone, tablet, or the home computer.
Yes.
So what do you get from this? Well, men love it. It's one man and a screen.
Yeah, right.
There's no argument. There's no interruption.
Yeah.
There's no talking back. So he's in charge. He's in charge.
Yes.
Now, if you take away the electronic screen and you have a conversation with another person, oh my goodness. First, you can't read the signals. What does laughing and looking down mean versus laughing and looking around? How do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Do you ask about it or you don't ask about it? Guys who've been watching the screen don't really know what the clues are in the other person's reaction and gestures. They know what the word no means, or yes, we'll have dinner, yes, we can go to bed, yes, I need to go to the bathroom. They know the words, but they don't know what the gestures mean.
My goodness.
They don't know what the facial expressions mean. And what's more, when there's a question and you're asking a girl how confusing that is. Well, do you have to go to the bathroom right now? Of course I have to go to the bathroom right now. Why do you think I'm even saying that? You've been talking. I need to go now. Oh, why didn't she say that when she had to go versus waited till I was finished talking? It confuses men to have to deal with the conversations of women because they're not in the flow of the relationship. They like being connected to the screen. So being disconnected is something we all have to think about these days. Why are men so into the video games and movies in general, sports teams? It's this one and that's the object, that activity. They don't sit and look at a painting. They're sitting looking at something moving. Whereas you turn that screen off and you have to deal with human beings. Where do our teenage boys get the skills?
Wow.
It's really, really tough.
Yes.
So we're raising 2-3 generations coming now of men who
disconnected.
they can't. Their minds are disconnected. Their minds, it's scary. Scary stuff, Dorothy. Scary stuff.
There actually, I think 4 years back, there's exactly a movie called Disconnect to Connect, right? And I think that, Hollywood already have created a lot of movies that about if once we are so connected to the digital, all this thing, the connection between human being becomes so flimsy, so dangerous. But the thing is, how can we stop this? When men are so uncomfortable with connecting with real human being. And when you ask me the question, why men becomes like that, do you think the outside world or the emotion is so overwhelming that they decided to disconnect in order to survive?
I don't know that they decide. It's part of the culture. And again, we looked at the whole biology of men and the biology of women. From the time girls are 8, 9, 10 years old, their breasts are developing.
Right.
And they've got to talk to other girls about what do
What's
you do to
going on?
protect yourself.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager, early teens, menstruation happens, girls have to again talk to each other. Do you have a sanitary pad? Do you not? Is it bleeding a lot? Is it bleeding a little? Girls need that communication with other girls. Guys, yes, in your early teenage years, you will get wet dreams. But it doesn't trouble you during the day. You don't need to borrow a sanitary pad or a tampon from a girlfriend. Women's biology weaves into their every single day.
Yes, yes.
Men, you have so much sperm, you don't worry about it at all. Strangeness of males and females.
So do you think if the father start talking to their children, their son, like when at a certain age, knowing they must have wet dream, maybe that will be a beginning when the men feel comfortable sharing what's going on. Yeah.
Just talk to your children. Put away that cell phone.
Yeah, start talking to them.
We all see the families with cell phones in the restaurants.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But what about at home? So many families. The father says, I'm not going to talk, I'm just leaving it there. Now, how does that young boy feel when he knows his father's waiting for the call? Why would my hockey game or my math test be of any interest to my father when my father's waiting for that call? Put those cell phones away from the table so you talk to your kids. Yes, talk to your kids.
Yes.
Wow.
So we have a lot to talk about, man.
Yes.
But near the end of the program, let's talk about what we are going to talk about next week.
Next week, we're moving. Look, folks, we've done identity ourselves. We've done women. We've done mothers. We've done money. We've done fathers. We've done men. I think we got to start looking at the stuff around us.
Okay.
What about the things in our life,
Yeah,
Dorothy?
yeah. Well,
What things are important to us? Why are they? Well, that's a good one.
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's where we're going next week.
Okay.
Things.
Woman and things.
Women and things.